Hello, everybody. This is the Pocket Passer. I'm your host, Randy White. I hope all of you are having a fantastic day. I know I am. With Week 7 right around the corner, Thursday night kicks off tomorrow night. I'm going to be giving you guys my Vegas picks for this week. This is a little bit different because this week, the way things are set up, the way the games are going, I don't feel really confident in a ton of upsets. It's only one upset I feel confident in, but that's also, in my opinion, the game of the week. There's not a ton of notable matchups this week, if I'm being honest. I'm not overly excited about really any of these games, but there's a couple games that have some potential. We will be covering those games. So we're going to jump right into it, starting off with our lock picks. First lock is 49ers versus Chiefs. Chiefs minus 2.5 is who I'm taking to win 31-20. I don't think this game is nearly as close as the point spread suggests. One thing I will say about locks and upsets is really when it comes down to that, I talk about the point spread, but it's not really based on the point spread. It's mostly based on who I think will win, if I think an upset will take place, or if I'm locking it, I'm saying the team that's favored is going to win this game. It's not always about covering the point spread. In this scenario, I do think they more than cover the spread. It's a small spread of just 2.5 points. But I think the Chiefs are a heck of a lot more than 2.5 points better than the 49ers, especially after a 14-point loss to the Atlanta Falcons last week. Obviously, anything can happen any given Sunday. There's a reason that saying does exist. But I think the Chiefs are a much better team. I'm very confident in that. I don't think the 49ers are really going to be able to stop their offense. And I think the 49ers offense is just, I don't know. They could have a good week. They're a lot of meh to me. I think the Chiefs, who also just lost last week, are going to bounce back in a big way and get the job done after losing and not get back to their winning ways. Number 2, Commanders versus Packers. If this does not work out for me, I am not picking the Packers at all the rest of the season if they somehow lose yet another lock week. So I am taking the Packers minus 5 to win 27-17. I just don't see them losing 3 straight. I don't think that's a thing that's going to happen with Aaron Rodgers at quarterback, Matt LaFleur at head coach, all the talent they have all over that team. I think they get things shored up. I think they start to move in the right direction. Taylor Heineke is playing quarterback for the Commanders with Carson Wentz out with an injury. So there's a lot of stuff working in Green Bay's favor. Heineke is very capable of having good games, and he is a mobile quarterback, so that could be some concern for our defense. If they're not prepared for it, they could put up more points than expected. But I feel really good about Green Bay bouncing back after back-to-back losses to New York teams and coming out swinging against the Commanders. I think they're going to be angry. I think they're going to punch the Commanders in the mouth early on and just really dominate the tone of this game from start to finish. And I think the offense is going to kind of get more into running the football. I think we're finally going to see Aaron Jones touch the football more like we need to see him do, like Green Bay needs to do if they want to win games and produce offensively especially. And that's really the key, is how much does Aaron Jones get the football. The Commanders just aren't a very good football team. There's a lot of dysfunction going on in that organization. I don't think they pull off a win. Again, Packers minus 5, 27-17. Now, these two are my bet it games. I got 2 games here. Last week I had 1. These are my bet it games. These are games I am talking about the point spread. First one, Jaguars versus the Giants. The Jaguars are favored, minus 3. And that does not sit right with me at all. I guess you could call this an upset because I'm taking the Giants plus 3. But I'm struggling to think of it as an upset because the Giants are 5-1 and they just look so good, really on all 3 phases. Despite the fact that they don't have healthy receivers, they're still getting the job done, which is very impressive to me. And the Jaguars were kind of a 3-week show offensively, and since then their offense has kind of fizzled down to a very, very low simmer after it was kind of really heating up early in the season. We've gotten to the point where it's a very light offensive attack at this point. There's not a lot of points being put up. They have not been the impressive juggernaut they were the first 3 weeks of the season at all, especially in that Chargers game. We have not seen that out of Jacksonville since then. And the Giants have a good defense. young talent all over the team, and they're very, very well coached by Brian Daboll. I really, really like the Giants and the way they're going so far this season. I didn't love them preseason, but the more I see them, the more I like them. I think they keep rolling. I think they improved to 6-1 this week. I'm taking the Giants +3 to win, 22-17. And secondly, this is an interesting one because the point spread here is so small. It's basically just bet who you think's going to win. Broncos versus Jets. I'm taking the Jets +0.5. This is basically just who's going to win the game. There's no real point spread here. You're just picking whoever you feel like. So this is why I think this is a good game to bet, because if there's a team that you feel confident, if you're like, oh yeah, Denver's winning this game, then bet Denver. If you're like, oh yeah, the Jets are winning this game, then bet the Jets, because at the end of the day, it's a 50-50 coin flip. There's no, got to win by 6 in order to win, or none of that is happening because the point spread is so small. It's just +0.5. I'm taking the Jets to win 17-13. Broncos defense is good. Jets defense is good. Broncos offense is bad. Jets offense is at least competent. So that's kind of the separator for me there. Jets special teams looked good last week, with the exception of their own punt being blocked by Green Bay's punt block team, which is kind of concerning that Green Bay managed to block a punt. That's concerning, but they also did block a punt and block a field goal and return the block punt for a touchdown. So a lot of good and then some bad with the special teams. All in all, I think the Jets have just performed better. They're a better team so far this year. I don't necessarily love them down the stretch. I think they could be fool's gold. I'm not seeing a lot out of the passing game, but we'll see how that kind of unfolds. They're a well-coached football team. They're a disciplined football team from what I've seen, and they've got a lot of really talented players. Sauce Gardner has been exceptional. The defensive line has been good. Linebackers good. Entire secondary good. I've been really, really impressed with the Jets so far. Their only losses to the Bengals, when the Bengals had to bounce back, and then one other loss early in the year. So I like the Jets. I don't love the Jets, but the Broncos offense is so abysmal, I think they can manage to outscore them. I'm taking the Jets, again, +0.5, 17-13. And finally, game of the week and upset. This is both wrapped into one. Chargers versus Seahawks. This is a big one. I feel like this could be a fireworks show. Chargers have injuries on defense. Seahawks defense is just bad. Both offenses have been very explosive so far this year, where Chargers have kind of been back and forth. But Chargers are very capable of being explosive. Seahawks are very capable of being explosive. And I think we see a very explosive fireworks show of a game. I think it's going to be a lot of fun to watch. Seahawks, I'm taking them to cover +6 and win 38-35 in a high-scoring shootout. I'm actually looking forward to this game. I think this might be the best game on this weekend. That's why I have it as game of the week. Again, I just don't love the matchups. I think the next best game is potentially 49ers Chiefs on paper. I think that could be a close and competitive game. Again, I have the Chiefs winning by 11. I think it could be closer than that, though. It might be one of those things where the Chiefs pull away late. Whatever it may be, I think it'll be a better game than the score suggests. But all in all, just not a ton of entertaining matchups this week. We've got a lot of good teams on buys, Eagles, Bills, just short examples of that. So this is just kind of a mad week, if I'm being honest, on paper. I'm sure we'll have some really good games unfold, because that's the way the NFL is. There's a lot of parity. I was just talking about it yesterday. Nothing is always exactly as it seems. I'm sure we have some exciting games this weekend that are just kind of diamonds in the rough that we don't see yet. But on paper, not a ton of great stuff happening, so this is what I got to work with. Again, I'll run right through them. My locks: 49ers Chiefs, Chiefs -2.5, 31-20. Commanders Packers, Packers -5, 27-17. My bet it picks are both upsets, actually, kinda. They're not real true upsets, but they're upsets in terms of the point spread. Jaguars Giants, I'm taking the Giants +3, 22-17. Broncos Jets, I'm taking the Jets +1/2, 17-13. Game of the week plus upset. Chargers versus Seahawks, I'm taking the Seahawks +6, 38-35. That's all I got for you guys. If you want to see more of my content, go subscribe, hit the bell icon if you want to be notified when I upload new videos. If you want to check out my content on other social media platforms, follow me on Instagram and on TikTok at The Pocket Passer. Thank you all so much for watching. Have a fantastic rest of your day or night whenever you're watching this, and I will see all of you in the next video.